Humphrey Bogart was known for his cool attitude, iconic voice, and unforgettable roles in classic Hollywood films. But behind the charm and fame, there was a man who had strong opinions and serious grudges. He was not afraid to speak his mind, and he did not like everyone he worked with. In fact, there were 6 actors he truly disliked, and the reasons behind these feelings are both shocking and fascinating. Some were rivals, some were too fake for his taste, and others simply crossed the line. Today we will reveal the 6 actors Bogart hated the most, and why. Before we dive into video, please subscribe our channel. Humphrey Bogart was born on December 25, 1899, in New York City. His full name was Humphrey DeForest Bogart. He came from a wealthy and well-known family. His father, Belmont Bogart, was a respected heart surgeon, and his mother, Maud Humphrey, was a famous magazine illustrator. Despite their status, the family faced many personal problems, including financial issues later in life. Bogart's childhood was strict and emotionally distant. His parents expected him to follow a professional career, possibly in medicine or law, but he was never interested in those paths. Bogart studied at private schools, including the prestigious Phillips Academy, but he was expelled for bad behavior. After that, he joined the United States Navy during World War I. His time in the Navy had a deep impact on him. He grew tough, independent, and learned to rely only on himself. After returning home, he worked a few jobs before finally discovering the theater world. He started as a stage manager and slowly moved into acting. His early acting career was not successful. Many critics thought he lacked stage presence, and he was often given small roles. In the late 1920s, he started working in films. At first, he played minor characters or was typecast in gangster roles. It took years for him to be taken seriously as a leading man. During this period, he also developed a reputation for being blunt, moody, and hard to work with. However, his real-life personality also helped him bring realism to his roles. Bogart's early life was filled with struggles, strict rules, and constant rejection, but all of these experiences shaped him into the man who would later become one of Hollywood's most legendary stars. His journey was never easy, but it made him unforgettable. Humphrey Bogart's life was not as smooth as it may have appeared on screen. Despite being born into a wealthy family, he faced many emotional and personal struggles. His parents were strict and emotionally distant. He never had a warm or close relationship with them. His father later lost much of the family's money due to poor investments, which brought financial stress into their lives. Bogart also struggled in school and was expelled from Phillips Academy for bad behavior. This brought shame to his family and created further distance between them. After school, Bogart joined the Navy during World War I. He saw difficult times during the war and returned with a hardened attitude. When he tried to begin an acting career, things did not go well at first. He was rejected many times and only received small roles. Many people in the industry believed he would never be a leading man because of his rough looks and strong voice. He was often typecast as a gangster or criminal, which limited his growth as an actor. On top of professional struggles, Bogart also faced personal problems. He went through several failed marriages and had a reputation for being moody and difficult. He drank heavily and often got into fights with directors and co-stars. His stubborn attitude kept him from getting important roles early in his career. For many years, he remained stuck in the background, trying to prove himself. These struggles helped shape his tough and fearless screen presence that audiences later admired. Now, we will reveal the 6 actors Bogart hated the most, and why. Number 1. Carrie Grant. Humphrey Bogart's #1 most disliked actor was Carrie Grant. While many fans loved Carrie Grant for his charm, good looks, and smooth personality, Bogart saw something very different. He believed Grant was all style and no real talent. Bogart thought Grant got famous because of his appearance and not because of his acting skills. He once referred to Grant as a mannequin in a tuxedo, suggesting that he looked good but lacked depth as an actor. The 2 actors came from very different backgrounds. Grant was known for playing elegant and romantic roles, while Bogart often played tough, serious characters. Bogart believed that real actors needed to have raw emotions and life experience, which he thought Grant lacked. He also disliked how Hollywood often gave Cary Grant top roles, even though Bogart felt he was the better and more serious actor. There were also personal reasons for the dislike. Some reports claim that Bogart found Grant too arrogant and fake in real life. Their personalities simply did not match. Bogart was blunt, honest, and rough, while Grant was polite, polished, and careful with his image. Their silent rivalry was never spoken publicly, but it was very real. Number 2. Edward G. Robinson. Edward G. Robinson was another actor Humphrey Bogart did not get along with. Both men were famous for playing tough gangster roles in the 1930s and 1940s, but their working styles and personalities were very different. Robinson came from a stage background and had a dramatic, theatrical acting style. Bogart, on the other hand, believed in a more natural and realistic performance. He often said Robinson was too dramatic and acted for the stage, not for the camera. Their rivalry grew stronger when they both worked at Warner Brothers. Robinson was given better roles and more respect in the early years, while Bogart was stuck playing smaller, supporting characters. Bogart felt that the studio favored Robinson and ignored his talent. This created bitterness between them. Politically, they were also different. Robinson was openly active in social and political causes, while Bogart stayed more private. He sometimes mocked Robinson's efforts, calling them fake heroism. Though they appeared together in some films, their relationship was cold and distant. Bogart never said much about Robinson in public, but those close to him knew he did not like working with him. Behind the scenes, the tension between the two was hard to miss. Number 3. George Raft. George Raft and Humphrey Bogart had a long and complicated history filled with tension and silent rivalry. In the early days of Hollywood, George Raft was a bigger star than Bogart. He often got leading roles in gangster films, while Bogart was given supporting or background parts. What made things worse was that Raft actually turned down several major roles that later went to Bogart and changed his career forever. One of the most famous examples is High Sierra and The Maltese Falcon. Raft refused both films, thinking they were not good enough. These roles then went to Bogart, and they helped make him a star. Bogart never forgot this. While Raft's career slowly faded, Bogart started to rise, which caused jealousy and competition between them. Bogart believed Raft was not a true actor, but just a gangster with connections. Raft, on the other hand, thought Bogart was cold and arrogant. They worked in the same studio, often crossing paths, but there was no friendship between them. Their quiet dislike for each other lasted for years. Even though they never had a public fight, everyone in Hollywood knew there was real tension between Bogart and Raft. Number 4. James Kagny. James Kagny was one of Warner Brothers' biggest stars, and while he and Humphrey Bogart worked in the same studio and even appeared in a few films together, their relationship was not friendly. Bogart admired Kagny's talent, but disliked the way he treated others, including himself. He felt that Kagny looked down on him during the early years when Bogart was still trying to rise in Hollywood. Kagny often got the best roles and highest pay, while Bogart was stuck in second-tier parts. Even though both actors played tough guys on screen, their personalities off-screen were very different. Kagny was known for being private and professional, while Bogart was outspoken and rebellious. This caused tension between them, especially during film productions. There were also reports that Kagny did not think Bogart had what it took to be a major star. He rarely spoke highly of him and kept his distance. Bogart noticed this cold behavior and took it personally. He felt like he was never fully respected by Kagny. Even though they never had a public argument, the lack of warmth and respect between them was clear. Bogart never considered Kagny a friend, only a competitor. Number 5. Frank Sinatra. Humphrey Bogart and Frank Sinatra had a strange and uneasy relationship. Although they were both part of the Hollywood scene and even shared some social circles, especially the Rat Pack, there was always quiet tension between them. Bogart was much older and had already built his career when Sinatra was becoming popular. He did not trust Sinatra and felt that he was not genuine. Bogart believed that Sinatra tried too hard to be liked and used his connections, including rumored ties to the mafia, to get ahead in the industry. He often joked that Sinatra sang like an angel but played like a snake. This shows how much Bogart doubted Sinatra's character. The two also had very different personalities. Bogart was blunt, honest, and did not care about pleasing people. Sinatra, on the other hand, was known to be sensitive, emotional, and sometimes dramatic. Bogart found this fake and annoying. Although they never had a public fight, people who knew them said that Bogart never truly respected Sinatra. He saw him as someone who did not earn his success the hard way. While they smiled for the cameras behind the scenes, Bogart kept his distance and watched him carefully. Number 6. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn was known for playing brave, heroic characters in adventure films, but Humphrey Bogart saw through the image and disliked him deeply. Bogart believed Flynn was fake, arrogant, and too full of himself. He thought Flynn cared more about showing off than actually acting with real emotion or depth. Bogart once called him a phony and said that Flynn acted more with his looks than his talent. Their personalities were complete opposites. Flynn was flashy, wild, and often in the news for his partying and scandals. Bogart, though also a drinker, preferred honest conversations and serious acting. He disliked how Hollywood treated Flynn like a golden boy, even when he behaved badly off-screen. There were also rumors that Flynn looked down on Bogart and made fun of his tough guy image. This only added to the tension between them. Bogart never trusted Flynn and stayed away from him whenever possible. Though they never worked closely together, their dislike was no secret in Hollywood. Bogart respected actors who worked hard and stayed real. To him, Errol Flynn was the exact opposite, more image than substance, and that was something Bogart simply could not stand. Humphrey Bogart was a legendary actor, but behind the fame, he held strong opinions about those around him. These 6 actors clashed with his values, style, or personality. His dislikes reveal the tough, honest man behind the screen, one who never pretended to like someone he truly did not respect.